Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to Campbell County Issues. Tonight's show is also being brought to you by Tennessee Outdoors. Tennessee Outdoors over in Huntsville. Folks, they have the Husqvarna lawn tractors, the zero turn, 48 months, zero financing. And I'm talking about interest. So, anyway, get over there and guns and fishing tackle, all that kind of stuff, anything you need for outdoors, they basically got it. And they got a furniture store right beside of it, which you just walk through the door. You don't have to go outside, you just go into the furniture store, and they have a lot of good furniture also. That's Tennessee Outdoors. Also, True Value Homes in Scott County at the junction of Highway 63 and 27. Folks, you got property. You thinking about going in business and having a bunch of rental property? You got a lot of property where you can set up these things. Your land stand for the down payment. You get renters. It's a good way to go in business. That's True Value Homes in Scott County, and folks, they got a good selection, and they can get about anything you want. And their financing is it's just unbelievable. They can finance just about anybody. So check them out. Ron's Golf Carts and Indoor Flea Market. Hey, they've got those wallets down there that all you women like now, and that wristband wallet, Ray-Ban sunglasses, stuff like that. They've got those down there, and he's got a lot of stuff down there. And in fact about it, you'd be surprised on some of the stuff he's got. He's got those still got some UGG boots down there. And very good prices. Go down and check him out. And also, Brimstone Recreation. Its Camp Razor is going to be at Scott County on September the 18th and 19th. And they have a John party with Dave Fannin. I wonder if that's any of Bob's family. But David Fannin. Also on September the 19th, Jake Owens and the Old Dominion, you know, and everybody's heard about those folks. Plus, here's the thing that it's hard to believe. They are giving away merchandise, the value of $200,000. $200,000. That's your razor company and Brimstone is the only place that they put on a show east of the Mississippi each year. And now here's another big announcement in Huntsville. If you're a Yamaha fan, the new Yamaha will be unveiled at Huntsville on September the 4th. The public has not seen this vehicle. It will be unveiled in Huntsville, Tennessee on September the 4th. And I think it's going to be somewhere around 10 o'clock in the morning. But I hope to have more information for you on that. But that is a big deal. And I know that a lot of you are out there waiting to see what happened at the county court meeting tonight. And I got a couple of things I want to talk about tonight, but I'll give you an update, and if there's anybody out there got any questions about what may or may not have happened. They did vote to fire Jeff Marlowe tonight, but the vote was 8-5. They had two commissioners not present. Miss Nance was operated on today or yesterday, and so she couldn't be there, and Mr. Davis came in after the vote. So, or one of the votes, I don't remember exactly which one, but anyway, that's what happened down there. And the vote for the budget was 8-5. About the same thing, or 9-4, basically the same thing. same people have voted to let Mr. Marlowe go, and the ones that voted to not accept the proposal budget at 224. And then Mr. Jennings said, well, let's keep it at, made a motion, we keep it at 199, and that fell. So anyway, I don't know that you guys out there, I'm talking about the general public, or your commissioners understand they have to have a budget into the state by next Monday. The last day of August, they'll let you extend that. It's supposed to be in on June 30th. They'll let you extend that up to a couple of months, because in a lot of cases, the new commissioners take place, or any elected officials, they usually take place on the first day of September. And so, anyway, my understanding is that Mr. Marlowe and the mayor, Mr. Morton, will have a meeting on Thursday, or Wednesday, I guess. Might be Wednesday, and then they will have a special call meeting, and the commissioners come back in to accept or not accept. I want to tell you something. I had a very hard discussion, I'd have to say, with some of my best friends last night. And believe it or not, there's 4 of us in this group that we meet and talk at least once a week. And all 3 of them are Republicans. And my basic philosophy, as you all know, is Democrat. And one of the people that's in the meets with us every week, for sure, he is the most wealthy of any of us by far. And I'll tell you the rest of the story. I like to talk to this man right here. He's I bet he's hopping and jumping because he's a big supporter of Mr. Marlowe. You're on the air.
I don't even want to hear you get your story started right here. I want to say hallelujah real quick right here before we get the day going. I want to say 2 things. I appreciate the 8 halfway intelligent commissioners, the way that they voted, that at least they seem partial of the line. And the next thing I want to say is I want to appreciate Ann Hester's past call. I didn't get the chance to call back last week, but she had a good column last week, and I do appreciate her writings. But I think that they've done a wise decision, as did a few other people here in the county. But they've got to get off their hind ends out and get things done in the next week, and they better be thinking quick ways to do it. I know that you weren't able to see the local news because you were probably on your way over here or already here. But they're having the same issues in Crossville and Cookville and everything else. The same things we're having here. And they've got to get intelligent minds to work this out, because we're not going to get more monies from the state. They're taking it away in every aspect of it that they can. They're taking away from us from what we've got. So it's going to have to be done locally. But they're going to have to get it ironed out, and they've got to get the taxes. I know everybody says, well, don't raise taxes, the property taxes. We have a really cheap property tax. People really need to understand our services. What kicks me off about everything is when y'all see a lazy person on the side of the road that works in one of these, call in. Call their department heads. That's who you do. Call and complain to them about it. This one here was sitting at the restaurant for 2 hours. This one here was sitting down at Hardee's drinking coffee for 3 hours in the morning. That's where you eliminate this money that's to waste. The ambulance service definitely needs to I mean, put it up on the chopping block tomorrow morning.
And well, you wait till I talk about the ambulance service in Scott County tonight. You're going to croak, and I'll guarantee you once we get through with talking about the ambulance service, I'm going to wait till 9:30 because if you can't get upset over what happened in Scott County, and you know good and well it's probably happening here too, you can't be upset.
People, we've got to wake up to this stuff. And our bus contracts, how much money could we save if this was bidded out year in, year out?
You can't beat it in. Be honest with you, you can't beat it. You could never, because there's too much expense there. But the thing about it is, why not put it in house?
There's too much waste in a lot of it. There's so much waste in them. We got in all these departments the waste that we have.
Yeah, it needs to be rebidded a different way because they're paying for seats. There's buses down there. Hey, if I'm one of those that's got a bid in and I can get it, I'm getting me a 96-seat bus to pick up 4 students.
Well, sure. I mean, anybody.
That's so damn stupid. Pardon me.
Hey, listen, you didn't pardon me all night. You know what I say half the time. But, you know, in one sense, you don't blame them for taking advantage of people's stupidity.
No.
But on the second hand, this is their home, their community. This is where they raise their children and stuff, too. So, I mean, you know, the morals, you know, they just don't have that in them no more. People don't, a lot of people don't, you know, and just to worry about home, you know. And men with money, you know, at home here to help home out. They don't do that no more. Them days are long gone and they will never be back. But we have got to get people in there that know business sense. I know I say it again, week in, week out. But you've got, if you know the people, you've got to encourage people to run for office. That's the people that don't need the insurance, that don't want money to give to the, you know, whatever this, that, and other, you know, their funds that each member gets. You know, and I agree with Van Hester. Where are all the promises our mayor made? I know that he didn't have a class of people running against him, and that's a shame too, in its own right. You know, so I mean, he you know, I didn't support him, and he's a friend of mine. You know, but I just couldn't support him because I didn't feel he done his job at the chamber. You know, and everything that he was saying, he should have done at the chamber.
Yeah.
You know, that shouldn't have been his base of his running for the county mayor because none of it's come to mature. Nothing that we heard the man say. So, I mean, if he is not a one and out guy, then we are really, really in a bad shape. But we've got to get people that we know that are intelligent to run for these offices.
Well, let me tell you something. With the way that things are done and people does things, you're not going to get successful people to run, and that's been many of them. There's few of them will run, but most of them is not going to run. They're not going to put up with it, especially for $300 or $400 or $500 a month.
We want the ones that don't want the $500.
They're not going to do that.
That don't want the insurance. There's people.
Well, what about you?
No, I'm too old for that game.
Oh my God!
Hey, listen, they'd hang me from the highest tree. I mean, they would call every kind of group in here, and they would literally hang me right down there in Jackson for the first night.
I'll talk to you later.
See you, my friend.
You're on the air.
Can you tell me, did they actually fire Jeff Marlowe?
No.
They did not?
No. The vote was 8-5 to retain Jeff Marlowe.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Like I say, I've got some stiff stuff for you tonight, folks, and I want to just give you a little bit of insight, and whether you want to believe me or not, and if you want to sit there and say that, well, he's just a little know-it-all or an old stupid know-it-all. Listen, they've got till next Monday to submit a budget to the state of Tennessee. Very seldom will they ever grant you permission to go over that date, they start cutting off your funds. You'll have a comptroller come in here and they'll tell you what you have to do. And you think, well, the state can't tell me what to do. Well, you better think again. They can tell you exactly what to do. You know why? Because they cut off your funds. You have no school. You have no road department. You have no mayor. You have nothing. You say, well, that's not fair. That's not right. It might not be fair. It might not be right, but that's the way it is. Now, I'm not taking up for or I'm not against Jeff because he's not in my county. Now, I tell you, I got a solution to the Jeff Marlowe problem. Don't let him come to the meetings. Stay in his department. If he's needed for one subject, then he's be summoned to come or be told, hey, you need to be at this meeting for this particular thing. Then you get up and leave. And quit letting him. It's not him. He's sitting there absolutely directing the court because they don't know which way to go. And that's not his job. That's Mr. Coker's job. Jeff Marlowe should not be at any meeting that doesn't have something to do with budgeting. Allocating monies. Now, you say, wait, well, okay, you going out there and if you've done your job as a commissioner and as a mayor, the mayor could tell those people exactly how much is in that budget, whether they can do this or they can do that. But you go down there and watch, and I've went and watched enough to where I just quit going. Every once in a while I might stick my head in for 5 or 10 minutes. But it's the same thing every month. That someone on the court will look at Mr. Marlowe and say, can we do that? Or what's the rules on that? That's not Mr. Marlowe's job. I don't know how we operated in Scott County. I don't know, but we never did have it. Very seldom, other than when we had a budget committee. And the head of that budget committee was the one that answered the questions, not the director. The budget director was whenever you gave him something, then he could come back and say, well, I don't know how you're going to pay for that. Now, what do we need to add? You need to know how much money do we need to add to the budget to fund any projects we got. And if I was the mayor, I would tell Mr. Marlowe, other than our budget issues, you don't have to come. You can come and sit in the audience you want to, but you don't need to sit up here in the middle of these commissioners. It's my job and it's their job to understand the process. And as mayor, I'm supposed to know enough about the process that I can guide these people. And if I can't, I will ask Mr. Coker what is legal and what's not legal. And the budget committee, whoever is your chairman over your budget committee, should be the one that's telling the other commissioners what, okay, we've got this project and this is how, and I take it to the budget director, and I'm going to tell, and now how are we going to fund this? How much does he need to fund this? Now we're going to have to pay. And I said I was going to get to something here. I got about 5 minutes. And so anyway, me and this group was sitting there last night and we was talking. And this one guy, like I said, I know that's got more money than the other three of us got put together, I'd say. Anyway, that's just guessing. And he says, we don't need no taxes. We don't need no taxes. Okay? My question was, who's going to pay for the school teachers? Who's going to keep up the buildings and pay for the utilities and all that? Who's going to build our roads? Who's going to take care of our airports? Who's going to take care of all this stuff? Are you going to take care of it? Or you and your friends that's got more money than you know what to do with, are you going to take care of it? Why, no. Let everybody fend for themselves. That's not what America is about, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, we'll send every bit of that money. We'll send it, keep sending to the top, to the top, to the top. And we don't have, and just like down there in the meetings, they'll talk about we can't stand no more taxes, but we can't stand to go without our roads being fixed. But we don't want any more taxes. Well, who's going to pay for it? I don't like taxes either. But I've got a reality. And something that I don't understand. I know Scott County, 15 years ago, I know this for a fact, that they per capita got more monies through entitlements per person in that county than any other county in the United States. There was only 4 more than Scott County. Per capita received more money through entitlements than only 4 other counties in the whole United States, and still 85% of them vote Republican. And I don't think that the Republicans ever voted. So let's just go here in Scott County, and let's just take, in Campbell County, and let's remove food stamps. Let's remove welfare. Let's remove everything that we give to these people. And what are they going to do? You'll have to stay in your house. You won't have nothing, because people will steal, kill, do whatever it takes. And how can you go to a meeting and say, I want my road fixed, but I don't want any more taxes? How are they going to do that? How are they going to do that? Now, I'm saying, I know that they waste money, but still, you have to have infrastructure. There has to be infrastructure. Teachers ain't going to continue to teach. No wonder our education level has went to the bottom of the United States. Because you know what? Not that we probably spend more money than anybody in the world per capita on our per person in the world on our kids. But what do we do? And I'm not saying it that we have a bunch of lazy, uneducated, or went and got the degrees and stuff like that. You can go get a doctor's degree in the mail now. But anyway, what I'm saying is, you've got good teachers out there that go somewhere else because they go 10 years without a raise. You think they're going to go out there and work just because they want to? And people say, oh, we need people going out there and doing this job for us. We shouldn't have to pay them. Bull crap. I'm telling you, I might be done, but I'm not going to go out there and work for nothing. And I don't think anybody else is. You'll have some people that will volunteer because they need something to do with their time, but very few. And I don't blame teachers leaving, because you know what? I believe here in the United States, a teaching job becomes a secondary income for most people. it's the same, it's like the military. I mean, I think we have to have the military. But if you want a job that's in most cases now, with all the work taken out of it, is your military. You got your housing, you got your food, especially if you're single, and you got a halfway decent paycheck. You don't have to buy any food. You don't have to pay for a roof over your head. And if you're not a criminal, you know, you just about pick your own way. And we spend more money on our military, and I know I love our military. I don't want to. I spent there. My brother died there, but as far as I'm concerned, he's my brother. But anyway, we have to have taxes, but we have to have better management of those taxes. And you're not going to get better management with those taxes if we don't figure out a way to manage it better. You're not going to get the best managers. Just go down here and look at your commission right now. Why is so many of them there? I guarantee you, if they tell you the truth, I'm here for the insurance, or I'm here for the extra $500 a month because I only have to spend 2 to 3 hours. And if I have to come here besides just this county meeting, I get paid additional monies for that. And you know, as a teacher, I need the extra income because I don't make that kind of money as a teacher. Because you guys don't never give me a raise. Well, I've been on my soapbox long enough, and it's time to take a break. And folks, Tennessee Outdoor, you'll be surprised. That place, just go by, check out the guns, check out all the other stuff, check out their lawnmowers, all this good stuff, and the people. The people are just super, and they're located, if you know where Roane State Community College is, just before you get to the Roane State Community College going from Campbell County. It'll be on the right. You can't miss it. You go around this big curve on that 4-lane there in Huntsville, and right there, it just pops up when you go around that curve. That's Tennessee Outdoors. True Value Homes, you can't miss it either. It's at the junction of 63 and 27. That's where 63 ends in Huntsville. And folks, give Keith Clothfelder a call at 663-8633 and set up an appointment. You got property, he'll take care of you. Ron's golf cart, folks. If you're like me, and now I've had a golf cart since the 80s, so we're talking about close to 30 years. Because it might have been 88 or something like that. So it's been close to 30 years that I've had a golf cart, and I won't be without one as long as I can even think about affording one. And you can get electric golf cart, and it'll run probably for 15 years on the same batteries. And if you have to change, they are very seldom they ever wear out. And you got a farm, hey. You got a 10-acre farm, you need a golf cart. And he has them down there for as low as $14.95. And he has some, especially if it's the gas, he probably got some at $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. So check out with him. And Brimstone Recreation at Camp Razor, September the 18th and the 19th. And Jake Owens and John Party and Old Dominion and Mr. Fanning who will be there. That's David Fannin will be there. So I hope you all get over there and come around. And I told you I was going to tell you a little story, and I hope that y'all listen to me very carefully before I say what I'm going to say. Because I felt like last night was probably one of the, or not one of the most important shows I've had in the 22 years I've been doing this. And I want the ambulance service, I know, is supposed to take its patients or customers to the nearest emergency center unless they're being requested to go somewhere else, and if the EMTs determine that the need for this person is more serious than I need to move it on to a major hospital, then those calls can be made. But if it's just someone that's knocked out or whatever, or can't make, you're supposed to take them to the nearest center. It doesn't mean a hospital. It's the nearest care center. And unfortunately, around here we don't have any place to go except at nighttime, the hospital, get that care and whatever. And so anyway, now let me get into the story. Week before last, a person called the ambulance, called 911, and 911 came to the home of that person, and they examined that person, but needed to be transported, and they wanted to be transported to the University of Tennessee Hospital. And the ambulance service refused because, now listen to this, because they had already made 4 runs that day, and they weren't allowed to transport that patient. And they left without the patient, and the patient was having a stroke. They rushed her to UT, her husband rushed her to UT Hospital and got there in time to reverse a stroke. Reverse strokes can be reversed if you get them there in a certain length of time. Well, make a long story short, after she come back home after 3 or 4 days, or whatever, because they don't keep you much longer anymore no matter what they do to you, she had the problem again. They refused to call an ambulance service. They drove her to UT Hospital on their own. So Saturday, I had gone to town, and I got a phone call, and we had the same thing happen again, 2 times within 2 weeks, that a patient was refused by the ambulance service to transport a patient to another hospital other than the one that had been one in Scott County, because they did not want to go to the hospital because the waiting time at times in that hospital, one woman called in and said, I sat there, the ambulance came and got me, took me out and set me in the waiting room, and I sat there for 8 hours before anyone rendered any attention to me. I had no doctor look at me, I had no nurse or no one. I could have sat there and died. Now, why would I want to go back there whenever I know I've got a problem? But now, can you imagine, can you just imagine that ambulance service has the same problem that you all are having. That ambulance service is operating in the red. It's losing money. What about Campbell County's? Is it losing money, or is it a and they're not allowed to make money now, according to the law now. They're not allowed to make any money. Now, what would you do? What would you do if that had been your mother, your wife, or if it had been your husband, or your brother or sister? Because I hear the same kind of horror stories about your ambulance service here in Campbell County. And it's still owned by the county. It would be profitable for them to bid it out to somebody and say, and if your highest bid was $1,000, you'd still be in the black instead of the red. Because someone that's out there as a private operator and owner of that company, they're going to give you better service. They're going to make a profit. Does it upset anybody? I know one person it upsets, because she writes about it all the time, or she has. But see, getting feedback from her column, unless, you know, I mention a time or two and get myself in trouble with her, trying to knock me off. No, it's not that bad, I don't think. But anyway, you're on the air.
Hey, Rail.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you want to hear about ambulance service?
Yes.
The VA nowadays had to be transferred a couple months ago to the Veterans Hospital in Mount Home.
Uh-huh.
And I was going to call our local one here, Battle Kit, to get them transferred. And you know they sent an ambulance all the way from Johnson City, Mount Home there, to Wapala to pick me up and take me over there, instead of me using local ambulance service. And then after I got out of the hospital over there, I had a doctor's appointment. I was in a nursing home down here for rehabilitation of my legs.
Uh-huh.
And I had a doctor's appointment, and I couldn't walk, so I was going to have to pick me up early. And I told her, I said, call Battle Care, and I said, they'll come and get me. She said, well, I have to call another one. I said, well, okay, I figured she was calling the one here in town, you know, the other one. And come to find out, they sent a ambulance all the way from Mountain Home. Took me from the nursing home I Long John Silver there to the VA on Independence Plain, which is about 8 miles away. They was there we were there about a half hour. They loaded me back up, brought me back over to the nursing home, put me back in the bed, and turned around and went back to Mountain Home. Now tell me how stupid that is.
That's about as stupid as it gets.
Yeah, that's what I swear to God.
But that's what I'm saying. Now, why aren't they able to do that? Why aren't they? Huh?
I said, how come? I said, usually I can call Vital Care, and the VA authorized Vital Care. They said, oh, we've got the contract.
We got the contract.
Yeah, they got the contract. I said, I've never heard of the VA having a contract with an ambulance service. They said, well, they do.
We wonder why we have so much wasted money. That, you know, if they come down there and transport you from there to your home, they'd probably charge you $1,500 here in Campbell County. But it probably costs $10,000 from Mountain Home down here and transport you. Plus, you know, I mean, why would they need $300 or $1,500 to transport you from here up to your home, Glade Springs? It's crazy. Now, I'm telling you, I'll tell you what's wrong with your ambulance service, and anybody out there that wants to get mad at me or come on my show and debate it with me. It's a lack of management. It's not, I'm not saying the management of the day-to-day operations. I'm talking about contracts. I wonder if they even have a contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Do they have a contract with United Healthcare? Do they have a contract with Amana? Do they, I mean, how many insurances should they have? They should have every one of them. Because every, huh?
I believe does. Life care is good ambulance service, and so is 911 ambulance service.
But they run them out of business, didn't they?
Pardon?
Didn't they run them out of business?
I don't know, did they?
Well, one of them's out of business. They did have two, but they have one here. But what I'm saying to you, that evidently we got ambulance services that if you don't have the right insurance, they won't pick you up.
Well, this one here is the fall of the VA.
Right, I understand that, but if anybody in this county, regardless of what insurance you have, absolutely regardless, you should be made to pick up whoever made that call. Your info, and I bet, huh?
I thought they had to.
Well, they didn't pick them. And there's two occasions that they didn't pick them up in Scott County in the last 2 weeks. And I've heard all these bad stories. We in Scott County, with trucks and ambulances, we got 9. How many of you guys got over here?
Lord, I don't know.
Nobody knows.
But they had to come and get me now for the emergency when
Would you think
I
it?
first went to the hospital. The doctor come and got me.
Well,
The VA operation, the doctor come and get me.
But there should be the nearest ambulance service should come and get you and transport you to wherever you go.
Right, last time they could transport me up there. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Appreciate your call. Oh,
Figured maybe you could talk to somebody about it, you know.
good to hear from you. Hadn't heard from you in a while.
Well, I've been pretty sick, my friend.
No, I hate to hear that.
Yeah, been about bedridden, no legs back on out of me.
Oh man, hate to hear that.
Yeah, it's just one of the things, you know.
Yeah.
One of the things. A lot of people work off 90, so I don't worry about it. You know.
Appreciate your call.
Well, look at it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So-
Bye-bye.
Bye.
How many times have I sat here and listened to people call me and say, the ambulance service, I called the ambulance service, it was 4 hours before I got a response. I'm telling you folks, no way under the sun should a county be operating or even pretend to operate an ambulance service. There's too many things that's there that have, and you can call one of your commissioners. They're not managing that thing. They just know that here's the people that's in charge. Now, how many insurances or how far out do they go? Where is this? Where is that? Where? They don't know. All they're doing is receiving the monies that's taken in, or having to pay or losing money because it's not, because you have to pay that payroll. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'm not saying the people that's doing it is crazy. I'm saying the lack of management of ambulance service, of knowing everything in the county, because if anything happens, who's responsible? Who's out there? Tell me, who's responsible? Who's responsible? I'm going to go back to an issue that was pretty hot at one time. There's a young Miller man. Who remembers that particular issue. A young Miller man that was 600 pounds or something in that neighborhood. The ambulance service would not pick him up or couldn't pick him up one way or another. Finally, somebody volunteered to put him in the back of a pickup truck and transport him to Knoxville. It's still somebody's responsibility. The man did end up dying. It's still, if you've got an ambulance service, it's still your responsibility to find a way to transport all the citizens of the county. It's your responsibility. And evidently, 1 hour and a half last night, both lines stayed lit. And I'll guarantee you that something will change in Scott County. Now, I just wonder if there's anybody here who'll stand up and take a good hard look. Now, at one time, ambulance service was a money-making proposition for a county. I know that. And I was against it in 1990 and through 94 whenever I was a commissioner. But we could take that ambulance service and balance our budget very easy. Now, you got a very serious problem here in the county. You got 7 more days from today to submit a budget. I don't think that even the people here in the county or the county, I think there's people that's on that commission don't realize the severity of getting to this position without a budget. I really don't. I don't think that there's a lot of people this year that realizes you can't change your county commission every 4 years. It don't work. And besides, how many people out there, especially the people that's been successful and has good education, is going to sit and have someone like me sitting waiting on the phone to ring to talk about somebody or something that's not going right. And there's not many of them out there. They always find an excuse why they can't run. You're on the air. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Oh, hi, Arnell.
Hi.
I'm listening to you talking about the ambulance service.
Uh-huh.
What people here in LaFollette or Campbell County, what they need to learn, I learned from experience and being at death's door, that you keep your ambulance number on your refrigerator and you call directly to Vital Care.
Uh-huh.
They come pick you up, and when they do, when they get to your house, they say, where do you want to go? They take me to UT. And I got to say, now they saved my life last 2 times. Out the next door.
And I don't disagree with that at all.
You don't call 911 because you get they'll take you straight up here to LaFollette, and if you don't die, then you can go to another hospital after they done got your insurance money and stuff. But you call directly to Vital Care if you want an ambulance to take you somewhere other than LaFollette.
Uh-huh.
Keep the number on the refrigerator. The number is 423-562.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
562.
9370.
Okay. 70.
Right. Put that on your refrigerator and tell your family if you're sick, you need ambulance, call directly to home care. That's the number right there. And when they get there, they say, where did you want to go?
Okay,
I went through this and I learned. Almost died learning, but I'm alive and I thank God here for it.
okay. Now,
I can't say nothing but good about Vital Care.
okay, does Vital Care have or does the county have an ambulance in Jellicoe?
You know, I don't know anything about Jellicoe. I don't have any people living there or anything, so I don't really know anything about Jellicoe. But Vital Care, if they would take you to UT, I would say they would take you to Jellicoe if you wanted to go there.
Well, no, that's not what I'm asking. What I mean
And
is,
they'll pick you up.
see,
Well,
is it?
you have to call an escort, again.
I just wonder. You know, now we have a unique situation. You know, Scott County, as far as land mass, we're the second largest county in the state. And they got our ambulance service is in Oneida, 7 miles from the state line. Well, we got people that lives 35 miles from Oneida. Should they, one group of people, be able to have an ambulance service within 5 to 7 minutes of their place when somebody else is on some of them back roads an hour and a half away?
They probably would. You just have to call and ask, I guess.
Well,
You
so
know,
I just wonder about Jellicoe. I do.
Well, now,
And-
I do know that there is a new ambulance service, and it's up the valley. It's a private owned. When I was in UT last, I come home at night, and this ambulance that brought me home was a private owned ambulance service, and it was a state of the art, and that thing was nice, smooth, riding. And they brought me straight to my door and brought me in and put me in my bed.
That's good.
And it was private owned from up the valley up here.
What's the name?
Valley, I believe.
What's the name of it?
It was private owned. It was, the man's name was Brian something.
Oh, okay. I appreciate your call.
But they only charged me, the one that was from Powell Valley,
Uh-huh.
they only charged $1,100 coming from UT Hospital, bringing me home. They only charged $1,100.
Okay, now if that had been,
That was a brand new state-of-art ambulance.
okay, and if that had been one from here in the county, it'd probably been 1,500.
2,500.
Huh?
It's probably been 2,500, I don't know.
Yeah, that's just what I'm saying. And then we say that we're losing money. Why are we losing money with the ambulance service in Campbell County?
And I said, well, it ain't worth flip.
Well, no, it's because somebody's not managing it.
Right.
We hire people over here to manage it, but the thing about it is, whenever they turn in the bills and whatever, and let's just say they bring in $250,000 a quarter or a month. Because I'm telling you, they bring in, because I know that we had a surplus one year while I was in office in 1990 to 94, we had a surplus of over $2 million one year. And you can't, it's just hard for me to visualize that we are losing money with an ambulance service. Whenever they're getting paid, if they come and pick you up from the ambulance service down at, let's just say, the old Woodson's or the mall down there,
Yeah.
and take you up here to the hospital, they'll charge you $300 to $500, $600, $700. Now they only get.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is.
But now the state does have a minimum that TennCare or Blue Cross or Blue Shield or any insurance company, they have a certain level that they'll get paid, and that's it. And then the rest of it, if they want to pursue it, more than likely come out of the private person's pocket.
Yeah. Well, they probably expect that, you know,
Uh-huh.
somehow to a tax write-off or something. Insurance don't pay so much, and then you're going to pay so much.
Uh-huh.
But I just learned. I mean, I'm real sick, and I've been in the hospital many, many times. And I learned from experience, if I stayed here in the fall and depended on Campbell County ambulance, I would have been dead a long time ago. And I finally learned, you know, I ain't going nowhere unless I'm going in vital care, and I ain't going nowhere unless I go to UT.
Okay, appreciate your call.
Remember the number,
I got it.
629-370.
Got it. I've got it. But all I'm trying to say, folks, somewhere along the way, somebody's got to realize or stand up. We can talk about it till we get blue in the face. Now, whenever this shooting went on down here, I had 3 or 4, 5 calls one night saying that, you know, somebody got shot or somebody was getting shot or something down at the old La Follette house, something other down there. I don't know what all went on. But they couldn't get an ambulance for 4 hours. Well, if I get shot, I hope that I can get some kind of, if nothing else, if somebody will ride by in a Volkswagen or whatever, or something other, to get there and administer some care some way, try to save my life. But we don't seem to really care, especially, see, just like the man from up the valley, privately owned. Why? See, if the county here wants to forbid them to come in here and do that service, they can do that. Because if they didn't, with some way that some of it is done, they would be already private enterprise in here and do it. They tried it before, and they were actually shut down because 2 of them in this area, or this smaller place in this La Follette and this surrounding area. Now, I'd say that there's probably an ambulance service in Jellicoe or up in that area. There just about have to be, because you're going to die before you can get to them from here in most cases. So, but I don't know. Anyway, I tried. I can't excite anybody over that. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. Okay, folks, again, Tennessee Outdoors. If you haven't been over there and gave them a look, please stop by on your way to Ray Zach's. And hey, I want to tell you something, folks. On Wednesdays, now I've got to get that. On Wednesday, they have barbecue ribs. And I'm telling you, it's the country style barbecue ribs. And you cut them with a fork most of the time, or every time I've seen them, they've been cut with a fork. They are, Sometimes I can't wait. Then on Thursdays, now they'll usually cook 10 to 14 turkeys. If you don't get there before 7:30, and they stay open till 9, they'll either run out of dressing or they'll run out of turkey. We've already talked to them about that, folks. That's how many people come. That's just how good they fit. And their turkeys are must be 100% breast, because now, well, you just have to go give it a try, and it's usually less than $7. So just go up and look at the atmosphere and on Ray Zach's. Now, True Value Homes. Again, like honest, I mean, all thing I can tell you is, you know, that some of those things are just absolutely gorgeous. They're put together anymore with technology that they are just as sturdy as a house, and about half the prices in most cases. But you know, they can put those things together anymore. It's not like it used to be. And also Ron's Golf Carts and Brimstone Recreation. You're on the air.
Yes, Arnold. Talk about the ambulance service. It's been about 7 years ago, but I wasn't feeling well, and I had my daughter call 911, and the ambulance came to my house. All they had to do was walk up 5 steps into my living room. I was laying on my couch. Well, they didn't come in and said I had to get up and walk outside. It was in November, and I was freezing to death, and then I had to get up and walk outside myself and get on the stretcher. And then by the time they got me up to the hospital, they already had Lifestar on the way to pick me up because I was having a heart attack the whole time. But they couldn't come in the house to pick me up. I had to get up and walk out myself. So,
Well, see, now, let's just say, and I'm not advertising for Vital Care or anything, and I'm not, but I know you guys got 2 ambulance services here. We don't in Scott County, but
they didn't have Vital Care when I had this. I had no choice.
oh, you had no choice but to go with the ambulance service owned by the county.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this
and
is
they wouldn't even come inside to pick me up. I had to get out and walk outside myself. And
you shouldn't have been on your feet. You shouldn't have had to be on your feet.
No, I know, but they would come in and get me. I got up and walked outside, walked down 5 steps, and got on the stretcher myself. And like I said, by the time I got up to the hospital, they told me my store was on the way, and I was having a heart attack.
Ah, Lordy. But here's what I'm trying to say. Regardless of what's out there, if you're going to run an ambulance service, there's got to be some better accountability. Now, I've been told that you can call the and in fact, I've been called here on my show several times saying it doesn't do you any good to call the ambulance service because over half the time they'll say we don't have anything available.
You're right.
Does that ever happen to you?
No, luckily, that's the first time I've ever had to call an ambulance.
Oh, okay. But all I'm saying is, if you're going to have an ambulance service, which you shouldn't have in the first place, it should be better accountability. Should be somebody can say, okay, if I call up there right now, and let's just say I was really something was happening to me, I'm having a heart attack, and I know that, and I just barely can call 911. You thinking I'm going to get up and walk out that door and go out on the street to get on a gurney or get on a stretcher or get on anything?
Yeah, see, I had no idea at the time I was having a heart attack. So,
But you know something was bad wrong.
but yeah, I could breathe good and stuff like that. But yeah, I was having a heart attack the whole time, and yeah, I had to get up and walk out and get on the stretcher myself. So
Okay.
I just wanted to put that little tidbit in.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, like I said, I've talked about that enough, and we know so many times that we've had calls and complaining and this and that and several, but still nothing gets done, and it doesn't seem like that there's anybody out there that wants to take the responsibility. You're on the air.
Good evening, Mr. Kiffin.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Okay, go ahead now. I was gone. Just about went blank. Hold on just a minute. Let me think a minute.
Well, hey, yeah, that's okay. I go blank all the time anymore.
Okay. On what you had mentioned about about not having a budget and that the state would send in a comptroller,
Right.
whatever, that's an interesting thing. Whenever we say send in a comptroller, would they take over all of the operation of the county?
They would just shut you down, period.
Okay, now, whenever we say this, when you say shut us down right now, you're not talking about coming in and managing the county. You're talking about just,
No, they won't come, I don't think that necessarily come in and manage it. What they do is you remember back, it's been several years ago that they shut the school system down here because they didn't submit their budget and they didn't have the monies to run the buses or didn't do this and that, and they just shut the school system down.
did the state shut them down?
I'm sure they forced the issue.
Okay. I was trying to figure out if the state would move into a county and just take it over.
That until they can get a way to be financed, yes.
Okay. If they did that, then would the county, a county that's in bad situation or whatever, would they be better off to do this? And the reason I say this, if the state had a comptroller, then to take over all of the operation of the county, that means that you wouldn't have to have elections, you wouldn't have to have all the elected officials.
Oh, they're going to get it straightened out. I mean, very quick. It'd probably take maybe a month or something or other. Because what they do is they look at your books, they look at this and that, and they see if they find something wrong or this and that, and they'll say, okay, your tax rate needs to be $3.50, not $2.48, and that's what you have to set and assess. It's just like Jellicoe. They went through that just this year.
Well, the point I'm trying to get around to, I guess, is if the state ran everything, let's say if the state ran the whole county, if they ran the road department, the sheriff's department, the school department, and everything else, then basically we would have the best that money could buy.
No, they're not going to do that, though. That's not the way they do it. What they do is they come in and they shut you down, and then they say this is the way you're going to finance it.
Okay, now.
Huh?
Okay, let's say that the citizens just bucked up and said, no, we ain't. What would the state do?
Well, I've never seen it or heard of that situation, but basically, people would come around, enough of them anyway, one way or another, because they just start taking your property.
Okay, well, they already own it.
That's,
or whatever.
yeah, they would just start taking your property and selling it.
Okay, if they take your property, if all your counties, or if you had X many counties that did this and the state took over the property, what would we be then? Would we be refugees? Or would we have to all pick up and move out?
I couldn't answer that question, I'll tell you that. But what I would say would be that you have these land companies that would come in and buy up everything.
You know what you would have? You would have an armed rebellion. Is what it boils down to.
It could.
It could be.
It could.
So let me. I was kind of curious as to how that they would do that. I heard someone make mention somewhere that a county commission or some sort of a commission did not meet the requirements of something like what we're talking about here, like having a budget or something, or
Yeah.
not voting the way it is.
I can't remember where it was at, but I remember something. I don't even know what state it was in, but I've heard of it. Yes.
But they was going to arrest all the county commissioners or whoever was on the committees or whatever it was. But anyhow, I just looked at something right here. Our budget in this county, I believe, runs somewhere between $75 million and $100 million a year. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
If it runs, let's say $75 million per year, that means that we've got to generate over $205,000 per day. And I'm basing this on a 365-day year. Now, this county has to produce that much revenue, and that's a lot of money when you come right down to it.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, there's something that just doesn't add up here.
Well, see,
First of all, I don't see how the county, I guess, they could do that. They could generate that much, but that's a lot of money.
well, they don't have to generate it inside this county because a lot of your taxes, your payroll taxes, and all that kind of stuff comes into the state from the feds, and then the Fed distributes that, and that stuff is dished out to schools and to this and to that and to this and to that. So a lot of that is generated through income tax.
Okay, I can see, but now what I'm only referring strictly to the county's operation. Now, I'm not referring to all of the other stuff like the government programs, be it Social Security, IFRA, you name it. There's got to be hundreds of different organizations.
Well, what I'm saying, yeah, but I'm saying that there is, as far as generating the operation in schools and stuff, your schools, a lot of that money that goes into your schools, and that is your biggest budget in Campbell County or any other county in most cases. It comes from through the Fed and comes into the state and then into your counties.
Okay, okay, but let me make a comment now as far as ambulance service is concerned. There could be 4 or 5 ambulance services in this county. They could be small operations with 2 or 3 ambulances, and anyone that works for either of the existing or from some other place that is certified as an EMT and has a driver's license could they basically start a business, an ambulance service.
And they could, but it can be, your county does have a right to refuse to let you do it.
Well, that's where the government gets in the way of private enterprise. I'm sure they can refuse it, but still yet, just because they can don't make it the right thing to do.
I'll agree with you. I'll tell you what's the right thing to do is don't be doing it.
Well, this is the point I'm trying to get around to, is to where the private enterprise can do anything, in my opinion, better than government can.
Absolutely.
Sure can.
Absolutely.
Anyhow, these numbers, there's a ton of money comes through this county every day.
Oh.
Whenever I'm talking about now, like when I'm talking about the 200 and whatever thousand it was, $205,000 a day. That's just the money well, let me back up and say this. In order for us to produce this much, if we were just producing it by sales tax, that would be an unbelievable amount of money that's swapping hands here or buying goods and services.
Right.
So anyhow, it would be good if we had some sort of a oversight committee, and I'm not talking about somebody that's elected or paid or whatever, that can look at some of these numbers, and you can take these numbers and take this thing apart.
Well, I'm going to give you something that will blow your mind. I had a supermarket chain person to tell me why that they couldn't move into certain areas, that they had to sell over $120,000 every day to even make it, to make ends meet, much less make a profit. $120,000 a day.
I can understand.
And that's just
now you're talking about gross sales because their margin of profit, they would have to sell that much just to overcome their overhead.
Absolutely. And here's the thing about it. You look at that $120,000. That's 11,000. Let's just say $11,000 a day coming from that one place just into your county every day. One, and you'd only have to have 20, and you got $200,000 and easy. You go down through here and so many of these places that more money comes through them than you realize.
That's right.
And I'm going to just take you for instance as a businessman. I don't know how much taxes you got to pay every day, but it's probably astronomical.
Well, I looked one time I try not to look at these numbers because they scare me to death.
Right.
Just like this number right here. But I looked at what it cost us per day, and I'm talking on a 365-day year because we have to pay our fixed overhead. I'm not talking about the labor part. You pay that in proportion, of course. But whenever you count in the whole average of everything it debate with someone, and what we were doing, we were just kind of looking around and philosophizing as to what the future is going to be for this country. And the subject was mom and pop operations, and that's what we're considered in the business we're in. We're considered a mom and pop operation, we're so small.
Right.
But just in the industry we're in, or industry, I won't call it industry, I'll call it a business.
Well, it is an industry though, but
But the big ones are eating the little ones constantly. And it's going on right here, and most people don't even recognize it due to the fact that whenever a humongous outfit takes over the local outfit, they don't even change the name of it. You see what I'm saying?
yes, uh-huh,
They leave the name on it, so everything just goes like as usual.
uh-huh,
But in order, we've got so many rules, regulations, and like what we're talking about, the overhead, and just the paperwork is enough to prevent anyone from even being interested in doing this. And this is where, and I've tried my best, I can't find a copy of the fire tax. I've been trying to get you a copy. And I've looked everywhere. I'm going to go online or something, do it that way, I guess. But anyhow, if we could go with the fire tax, it would help business, and I'm talking about the small business.
uh-huh.
It would help any of them, due to the fact that we could get rid of a ton of paperwork. The paperwork is what's killing most.
A lot of businesses, absolutely.
We have to store our records for 5 years. And we have, you know what these shipping containers are, don't you?
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm talking about, seagoing shipping containers. We have 2 or 3 of those things that we store our paperwork. We have to keep paperwork on everything under the sun. But anyhow, I've took a lot of your time.
Well, I'm gonna ask you one question,
Yes, sir, go ahead.
because in Scott County, they're actually going crazy over Trump.
Over Trump.
Yeah,
Well, Trump, he is bringing things out to be discussed that nobody will say because what he's saying is politically incorrect. And I applaud him for that. I don't see how that he can do some of the things that he's saying, but that's nothing unusual. I noticed tonight some of the things he said, and he's beginning to sound like a politician a little bit. But I applaud him for coming out and bringing his subjects out and forcing people to discuss them and looking at them from the citizens' point of view. And this election thing is going, I don't know, it's kind of crazy.
You know what, though? I told him, there's a guy called me today at home, and we was discussing it. And I told him, you know I'm crazy, and I would not do it, but if I was single and didn't have any children, and I would bet my house that he won't get the nomination.
That he will not.
Will not.
That's a good
It's-
possibility because
It's not because maybe that they don't deserve it, it's because they won't let him.
well, that's
we-
a good point too.
In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, whenever our Supreme Court got involved in and elected a president, they're going to elect whoever they want. And I'm talking about Democrats and Republicans. They get together, they talk, they know exactly who is going to be there before the election.
Absolutely. I think most of these decisions are made prior. And if you'll watch what goes on and listen to things that's said, news media pretty well directs. They don't tell you what to think, but they direct to a certain point to where you'll kind of go along with
But
it.
yeah, they'll drive it.
Well, I know you've heard the expression or something said that there's no love lost between the Clintons and the Obamas. Okay, who do you think played golf with Obama for the last week up on at Martha's Vineyard?
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton. All right, he ain't out there playing golf for a week with somebody that they don't, I don't want to say share a spit, but there's stuff going on, and they ain't out there just to play golf. They're out there, I don't know what they're working on, it's an alternative or something.
I'll tell you right now, a real good businessman anymore, probably, well, I would say that Walmart has been the driving force. They don't their main people don't even work in an office. They're out there playing golf, or they're out there at football games, or out there. They do their work in a social gathering.
Well, they do it in a setting, in a scene that you don't think, and it's, we call it work, but what it is, it's deal making.
Right.
Boils down to. But Obama, when he was, I believe it was when he was in Africa, he made the statement that he could win.
Yes, he did. I seen that.
He did? Okay. And I believe he will win a third term. I believe, the way things are going.
No.
But wait, I'm building up something. He'll win a third term by Biden being the president.
I don't think Biden will get to be. I don't know, but it might happen.
Do you think Hillary's going to be the nominee?
Yes. Now here's why, and I will get to the person that's calling here. I'm going to have to go to break for a minute. But I want you to call back after break. But anyway, reason why I think it's all politics. If they wanted to do something about those emails, see, she's not been the Secretary of State for 3 years. Until she announced that she was going to run for president, it would have never been, nothing had ever been said about it. Nothing. You'd have never heard about emails.
In my opinion, what she did there, and I'll have to agree with you to a certain extent on what you're saying, but the Clintons have never been held accountable for a lot of things. But here's my opinion of this thing. Hillary did this intentionally. She knew that these emails and that this server would not be secure. She knew that because she advised her other associates not to do exactly what she did. Now, then you have to ask yourself a question as to why did she do it? In politics and whatever, everything that is done boils back down to power and money. And in my opinion, and I can't prove this or whatever, but if it could be proven she would be guilty of something more than whatever, she'd probably be guilty of treason.
But I'll tell you this, and Snowden, you remember him?
Oh, yeah, Snowden, right.
Okay, I'm telling you, and a lot of you folks can check it out, anybody wants to check it out, I had a top secret clearance, okay?
Right.
And a lot of that stuff is just a bunch of junk. I mean, it's as junky as junk can be. And the thing about it is, probably, and my way of thinking, see, it's just the opposite of yours. My way of thinking, she probably was thinking that if no one knew about that server, it'd probably be safer than the one that the government's got, because they break into that government emails every day. They probably already got everything that Clinton's got in Russia or China. They probably got every one drop that was put into a U.S. server.
Well, that's possible. I can't argue that point. But
Snowden, he had every bit of it.
But the one that she did it for a reason. And my thinking is it's possible she has got untold donations from countries all over this world. And some of it as high as $25 million.
I don't doubt that.
Okay, by her putting in this private server, there could have been a backdoor built into it, or it being a private and unsecured. Any of these low-tech hackers could have got into it. And if she did it intentionally as a quid pro quo for these donations, this is serious business.
I don't know how, I really don't know. But I just say if they wanted to do something to her about it, other than her not get elected president, they'd have done something about it 3 years ago, because she's been out of it for 3 years, and it don't come up until she starts running.
Well, either way, whatever the motivation was, she knew that it was illegal.
Oh, Colin Powell had one, but the thing about it is, they changed the law after Colin Powell was not there. Whenever they changed and went to what's his name?
Here's the other thing about Colin
used the government too. Yeah, she used the government.
Well, I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, yeah,
Was it?
everything routed, it went into 2 servers. She went into the government server, and then also it went to, her server.
Okay, if it did that, if it went to both of them at the same time, then hers was unsecured. Anyhow, I appreciate your time.
Okay, appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. We're gonna run the break, and I'll be back, and I got a couple of people waiting for me on this line, but I will get to both of your calls when we get back, I hope.
Have a safe trip.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm live, I'm back, and after I do a commercial, I'll be back here on the air. Tennessee Outdoors, bringing you tonight's show. True Value Homes, Ron's Golf Carts, and Brimstone Recreation, bringing you tonight's show, folks. And I hope you'll get out and tell all these folks that Ariel sent you. And you're on the air.
I am gonna get over and eat that fish next week if it kills me. Or this week I'm gonna try.
Okay. Okay, that's good.
What, I mean, I know I'm Republican and I know you, Lord can't have it, you a Democrat.
I'm about 80% Democrat, that's for sure.
I bear with you as much as I possibly can. I understand, you know, there's a lot of around, but anyhow, I think that where people are underestimating Trump, and I hear you say that you don't think the party's going to do, and I believe they're going to have no choice. And I'll tell you why. And it ain't people that's just asphyxiated on Trump. People fixated on hearing the truth. And because they've been lied to, generation after generation has been lied to. And you know, it's a lot of the younger generation that votes nowadays. And I tell you what, I believe we're going to be surprised, and I believe we're going to get in trouble with it. You know, and I'm a Republican, and he's not the man that I want, but I do appreciate his honesty in the stuff that he says, because he says the stuff that
He says stuff that can't be done, though.
well, he does, but they all say that. You can't see one that don't.
But when you say that you're going to run 11, 12 million people, and I'll have it done, and I'll show you how to do it, and I'm going to build a wall all the way down between Texas and well, the United States and Mexico, and I'm going to make them pay for it.
That is foolish smart, but I do wish he'd load the buses up. But the ones I wish he'd load up is the people that they work for.
That's it now. Now that. But here, let me ask you this question: if we did that,
Yes.
okay, do you realize that instead of paying $1 for a tomato, you'd be paying 12?
Yeah. Well.
Because we Americans is not going to pick tomatoes anymore.
But they don't want.
They're not going to go in the fields and pick lettuce.
Don't want to do.
What now? Why did you ever go up north and work? You're not old enough.
Oh yeah, I definitely worked. I've done extremely well with working up north.
Well, see, I went up north too, and things changed a little bit because I didn't like to farm. I didn't like the pay, and I didn't like it down here because I could work down here for 65 cents an hour when I was a kid, and I could go up north and make $1.30 an hour. I'd double my pay.
Well, that was me. When I started out, my uncle, he begged me to take a job with the state. And I said, I cannot do it. I left here, and I left here to go to work for $5 an hour. Now, that's what I went to work for. And he said, man, they start you out at $2.35, and, you know, and I said, Lord, I'm going to make double that, you know, and I was working for cash money under the table at that time. You know, and I thought, you know, when I go work a 40-hour week, that $200 bills, I said, hell, I'll be rich by the time I'm 30, y'all be chugging along, you know. But back to dogs. But I believe that people are tired, and I believe that this, because there have been several things that he's said that's been absolutely off the chart and wrong, and he's weathered that storm. His points would go up when they say, oh, tomorrow's going to be bad news for Mr. Trump. You know, I mean, it's going to be the day of reckoning. And then he'd go up 2 points, and everybody else would go down 2 more. I'm telling you, the Democrat Party is just as bad a shape as the Republican Party.
I don't doubt that, but now listen, I'm gonna tell you, there's one Republican that I mean, this is who I think will get the nomination too. And it's the one that I hate to see him get it, because I think he'll be the president. John Kasich.
I tell you what, he seems like a good man. It seems like he's done a good job for St. Ohio. But I just don't see the support coming to him. His numbers are way, way too low now.
Right. Well, he waited too long to come out, but I still think that it's not. It doesn't matter what me and you say. It's what that Republican Party wants, and they want the man from Ohio because they have to win Ohio in order to get back the presidency.
They did well. I tell you, that's where I disagree with everybody on this election. And I've got a buddy that we talk in politics. I mean, just on a nightly basis. But he's older. He's your generation. He's generation above me. But he was saying the same thing, that people are just fed up with not being told the truth, and he thinks, like I do, that these young people, because that's what put us in with a black president.
Yeah.
Whether people want to believe it or not. I mean, that's the facts of it. They got out and they worked it, and they worked young people, and you're going to be the first, you're going to be able to put the first black man as president. How good are you going to feel about this?
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
I mean, it truly worked on the first term.
Listen, I got another kid on the other side. Let me get him in.
You go ahead and get it, but I truly believe that when I want to hear you 6 months from now on these same questions and say, he's still there.
Okay.
Have a safe trip home.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Buddy.
Well, he must have just hung up. Call me right back. Well, I was getting to you. I know what, I can't go with I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight if I didn't get you. You're on the air.
Do you know what time the school's gonna be on tomorrow? Do you
Do-
know what time Wednesday nights are in tomorrow?
No, I have no idea. Appreciate your call. No idea. Okay, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. But anyway, what my way of thinking is, John Kasich, if you all remember, the last time we had a balanced budget was Bill Clinton was the president, but John Kasich was the budget director, because he was the head of that committee, and he just done a heck of a job. And if Newt hadn't divorced his dying wife and went and got a divorce while she was on her dying bed and done some of those kind of things, he would have probably went on much farther, because he was the majority leader in the House, and John Kasich was the man in the Senate with the budget committee, and Bill Clinton balanced the budget. That's the first time probably since, I don't know, probably Eisenhower, and then folks don't remember there's a lot of, understand why a lot of them don't remember, because it happened in 1956. Dwight Eisenhower and Al Gore Sr. Worked together. Al Gore Sr. was a senator, and they worked together and come up and got the bill to build the roads, and it was one of the probably greatest achievements to get people out of the cities into the country. See, most of the people lived in cities back before 56. Because to go from here to California it would take you probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or something other to go. But then they build the roads and you go in 2 to 3 days. And then the airplane come along and you can go from one end to the other in 6 hours. So, but it's one of the great achievements in political history. A lot of people didn't know that. Now, I'm waiting on the call from my Hazel Valley friend because he tried to get in 2 or 3 times, and just as I got to him, he must have got another call from somebody or something. But anyway, I'd like to hear his opinion. You're on the air.
Yeah, another question. I have a question. Can you pay for my boyfriend Adam Stark?
I have no idea. You must have the wrong number, because I don't know nothing about your boyfriend. So, anyway. But anyway, it's one of the great achievements that Al Gore Sr. and Dwight Eisenhower did. But and one of the things that did, and I guess the reason why they road building and infrastructure was that to put jobs, because God, we were in a very depressed state, our whole government, and those were some of the things that happened, and I don't know, it just went better, I guess, as far as the roads is concerned. And a lot of money, and it changed stuff. And I know a lot of people right now is worried to death about the market dropping from 18,000 down into the 15,000s. See, about every 7 to 10 years we have that kind of an adjustment. And one of the things, I wonder how many people in Campbell County should be worried about that. I wonder, because there's very few people that actually, I'd say less than probably 5% of the people in Campbell County actually have stock in the stock market. Maybe some more, I don't know, but not many, other than, listen, that's CDs or something that through retirement at the company where you work at. And there's not a lot of companies to work at here other than banks, and they're sure not going to give you CDs and stuff. Now, I didn't say nothing bad word there. I almost did, but they're definitely not going to give you CDs and what have you at Wendy's or Walmart or any of these places. They're not going to do it. And for me, it's a good time for me to sit back and watch. And whenever I see it hit a level that I feel that it's not going to go anymore now. Because you look around and let's just say that it loses 10%. Or if it loses 15% or whatever. We're at 18,000. So you're going to lose 10%, you use 1,800 at 10%. And we're almost there now. So that's usually where you'll find it, or might go down 15%. And that's a good time to start buying. And so I might invest a few dollars. Because the way it was going, it couldn't just keep going the way it's going. Because if you think, folks, it had tripled since 2008. We was at 6,000 on the market, and we went to 18,000. And that's just unheard of. But anyway, we're just got about 10 minutes to go. I'm here to talk to you about anything you want to talk about. Didn't get into. I had Ann Hester's column here, and I didn't get to read it tonight to get on her for any reason, because and I looked at some of these things on. Says Davis try to make an illegal motion for firing the director, finance director. Here people, Commission Buckles under pressure to not raise taxes. Let me see if I can just see anything. Okay, she does mention about the dismissal of the finance director, where, folks, now I'm not saying that you shouldn't somewhere along the line. The finance director may deserve to go, but that's, right now is definitely not the time. You're on the air.
Eric, did you tell me if you guys were a Chihuahua puppy go for free?
I don't understand what you're asking me, ma'am.
Do you know if anybody has a Chihuahua puppy for free?
Oh, any puppies for free? I don't have any idea, man. Anybody got any
Yeah.
puppies for free? If they are, give us a call and we'll put them back in touch with you, okay? No, I don't know anybody that's one, they've never said nothing to me. And Hazel Valley, you've got 10 minutes to get in, because I know he helped for at least on 2 different occasions, several minutes. So I would like to hear what he's got to say. And Ann Hester, she got to where she is calling in pretty often. I just wonder what's going on with her. I haven't talked to her in a while, or here on the station. I don't think she's called me last 2 or 3 weeks. She got in because I was getting on her case too much. She is calling in pretty regular to jump on me. But I guess the last time that Ann Hester called me was the night that I read this article about Campbell County, or La Follette being the worst small city in the state to live in. You're on the air.
Hey, big guy.
Yeah, I noticed you're trying to get in there for 2 or 3 times and waited for
A
seconds.
real important announcement, because of a breakout of really good weather, there will be school tomorrow.
Oh.
Just in case anybody out there is curious, get up and catch a big cheese in the morning. But anyway, the owner of that station there, Jim Freeman, put a post on his blog, and it's a darn good one, 1450WLAF.com, and they put a lot of good news. Freeman had a real long essay that was in support of Jim Farlow. Now, he had a link to these documents and figures, and when you go to those documents, he proved just the opposite of what he was trying to say. When Marlowe took his job in 1992, up until 2014, you know, we got the figures up until last year, full figures, revenue for Campbell County went up almost 900%, over 800%. So tell me, what's the problem down there? I mean, you know, inflation hadn't even doubled in the last 22 years.
Oh no.
And debt has quadrupled, possibly even quintupled since 1992.
I've never heard that word, quintuple.
That means 5 times as much. And you're a septuagenarian. Did you know that?
I don't know.
You know what a septuagenarian is, though?
No, I don't.
Well, if you make it 80, you'll be an octogenarian.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, septuagenarian means you're in your 70s. Octogenarian means you'll be in your 80s.
Why do we even need those kind of words for to blow people's mind like mine?
It's part of the English language.
Oh, okay.
And we pick up these words as we go along and live long enough.
Well, that don't have anything to do with your finance director.
Well, yes, it does.
No, it don't.
If revenue has gone up
No, it don't. It has.
nine times as much as it was 22 years
All
ago.
he does is, if he was doing what he's supposed to be doing, was pay bills and inform the FMS.
Like you say all the time, Marlowe runs that county commission. He
Yeah.
has a vote on borrowing, he has a vote on spending.
He has it all of it. He absolutely runs the county, period.
We've got a serious problem in money management. We don't have a revenue problem, we have a management problem. They're spending way too much. Did you know we have a county dentist that earns $117,000 a year?
Got a county what?
A county dentist.
Oh,
And we got somebody that's getting paid as a county coroner, and they never do anything. They send all the bodies over to Morristown. I'm serious. There's autopsies over there.
I know all autopsies go to Morristown.
We've got a lot of problems in this county. We're paying people for stuff we don't need, and it's horrifying. You know, like that $55,000 paid to that guy that already had a job. Anyway, you got one to do. Thank you for taking my call and spending some time with us tonight. We appreciate all your callers. You had a great show tonight. Just keep coming over here. Even after you become an octogenarian, we want you coming back.
Okay, appreciate
All
it.
right?
Good night. Thank everybody. And don't forget our sponsors. Tennessee Outdoors. You still there? I just wonder if this man stopped by Razak's yet.